When you hear that break, think of Jamaica. Think of the son of a revolution and what made him. Think of the Bronx down at 1520 Sedgwick. Think of the first spark of a fire that's ferocious. Think of this scene. Cindy organising parties for a school. A new term with new rules, and of course to stay fresh she needs new shoes. Her brother Clive spins records as though it's saving his life. This deaf sound system he got his hands on will blow the power out the lights, and these 45s, no one ever seen a guy supply a sonic style like this. Flyers out the door on every graffiti covered wall. Cindy's hoping these events will afford her new threads, cause really, what else does a kid gotta do in the projects? Robert Moses made these people anonymous, now all these white upper classes turn their cheeks towards Manhattan. The white migration towards consumerist prosperity, history just swept under the rug, a million identities buried. But new identities spawn from out the cracks in the broken windows, not totally fixed but hopeful that they can imprint their image on this culture, so the walls are sprayed with colour, changed from the duller grey bricks and mortar given fuller meaning and purpose, outside. That's where Clive found his new name, Herc. Compared to the Greek Hercules when he brought b-ballers to the knees, he shortened it to Herc when he was out with the graffiti scene he lived in. Kool Herc was his tag and he ran with the X-Vandals. Always chasing the nighttime under the ragged moon, just like as a kid he'd always chased the bass boom. Jamaican dub plates created excitement laced with magic. Running through the Kingston streets the vibrations were infectious. He was too young then to witness these shows with his eyes, but his ears held on to the echoes of those defining moments. But as his family moved to the Bronx and faced subtle segregation in the underclass system, he kept his mind flowing with his dad's record collection. Not just James Brown, Booker T, or the Incredible Bongo Band, but young Herc had his Caribbean culture at the tip of every finger on his hands, and his sister had the plans to take a place and make it common ground for the countless disparate but dispossessed people. And at previous parties, Herc had noticed something primal. The rhythm and timings combine the wildest crowds and make them bounce at one time, no crime or violence, just vibrant liveliness, even if it only lasts 15 seconds. Because on some records burst instrumental sections that for those tiny windows create one nation under a groove. Black circular smooth vinyl conjures connections between everyone in the room. Aggression abandoned, expression demanded. But once the moment's passed, the spell is broken. And he notices. The one remedy for the chaos of people's disorganised lives is that section of a record that makes people unite. So he breaks up the track, splices it out, takes it back and duplicates every record that he has. So now there's two turntables, two identical records, and the broken pieces are the sections that he echoes. So now when one beat ends, the other begins. Drum grooves bounce from side to side, never ending. The crossfade on the mixer moves from left to right, and now all through the night Herc's able to manipulate time. From 15 seconds to 2 minutes, from 5 minutes to 9, he'll make a break last long enough to allow rappers to write rhymes, and that's how it all started. There was graph out in the street, but he provided the blueprint for rappers to ride the beat and for breakdancers to move their feet. The cypher was complete. Breakdancers, graph writers, DJs, MCs, and he paved the way for others to develop his ideas. But back to the scene in question. Cindy's party gets nearer by the second, and as the crowd starts to fill the venue, her brother Clive, DJ Kool Herc, steps to the mantle. And as the needle hits the groove in the record and the crowd starts to move, he waits for his chance to loop and fuel a generation's new tool. And pretty soon, the guitars, keyboards, melody, all start to change and decay. Until before long, only the drums and bass continue to play. This is what's sacred, the break. So Herc pushes the fade as the crowd expects a change, expects the best part of a track to have passed, but at that last second the same wild beat drops and continues to propel their defiant feet as they stomp forwards. So that's the true story of how hip-hop was born, and how it was spun into motion.